Hi everyone, it's Mark Morrow from Brisbane RVs, and today we're going to help you with your Victron system. So I get a lot of customers in here because I'm the service manager in here, and we get a lot of customers who want to ask me questions about what the different components on the Victron system is. So today we're going to go through that. Most of you will have something similar, and most of the vans that we have in here have something similar, whether it be My Dream, Vacationer or Fortitude. So we're in a Fortitude X at the moment, and what I'm going to do is head down underneath the bed here and show you the setup on this van, and most of the vans will have something similar. Okay, so we're looking at the Victron system here. Now, I'm going to go through each component with you, give you a quick guide, basic guide on what it does, and then you can go into YouTube and explore this a little bit more if you need to. The first things first, you've got a multi-plus. So in this case here, this is a 3000 watt inverter and 120 amp hour charger. The 3000 watt inverter is used when you're off grid and you want to have 240 volt power to run the microwave, hairdryer, that sort of thing. So all you need to do is look at the wattage that is on the appliance that you have, and you have a maximum of 3000 watts with this to use before this will actually shut down. But the beauty of this multi-plus is that for half an hour, this can double its capacity. So if you've got one of these in your van, it's a really great piece of kit. So you can double that capacity for 30 minutes. It also is a charger. So what that means is you've got a 120 amp hour charger, you will charge at a rate of up to 120 amps per hour. So if you've got 400 amp hours worth of batteries, and they're dead, run down to nothing, you can charge these up in less than 4 hours. That gives you a rough guide. But the likelihood is off grid, you may only be down to 80% or something, and if you plug it into 240 volt, this charger will charge up your batteries quite rapidly. Now, this actually has a transfer switch. Now, inside this multi-plus, if you plug it into 240 now, it will actually find that and flick across to charger here. All right, and it will show either floating or bulk depending on what your battery status is. If I unplugged the 240 volt power, it would flick back across to inverter. This is because I've actually got the settings on there set for AC mode on, which means it will automatically click between each one to be able to determine what you need and what the requirement is that you need. Or I can designate only charger only or inverter only. If you're off grid, the recommendation would be to turn this system off at your display, and when you need to have your inverter running, select inverter on the display so that this comes on, use your appliance like your microwave, and then turn it off again so you're not using limited power. Okay, so I was just talking about changing the settings on the inverter, and you can see here it's in AC mode on. So if I'm plugged into 240 volt power, it will actually run the appliances off 240 volt power and charge the batteries. If I touch this now, you can see it's changing to charger only. So that means it's only on the charger. And I just heard the inverter cut off then because it's only wanting to charge only from 240 volt. Or I can flick it to inverter only. And this means that, there we go, we heard the actual whole caravan beep and everything like that. That means that the inverter has come on and it's in inverter mode, or it's back into AC mode here. And if I touch it again, you can see there is off as well. So I can turn everything off so it's not charging or inverter's not on. The next thing I want to talk about is the battery protect. So what this does, it protects your battery. So we set a low point on this for the capacity of your battery. So example, if it's getting down to sort of say 20%, we can set it at that limit so that this will start beeping. It's an audible sound so that you can actually know when the batteries are getting low. So if your batteries are getting low and you're hearing this beeping sound in your van, it's probably coming from your battery protect, and it's telling you that your batteries are getting a little bit low so that you've still got a little bit of battery power to do whatever you need. So you can set this limit on the Victron Connect app. So let me show you how we do this. So you click on your Victron app that you would have got at your handover, and what you actually want to do is go into your shunt. So if you went into it at handover, it would keep your password in there. Normally it's 6 zeros or on a little sticker on the side of the shunt or the item. So you can see here we're at 73%. We want to go into that little symbol in the top corner, into batteries, and then you'll see here it says discharge floor. We've got it set at 15%. I'm just going to up that to 20%. So what that's going to do now is let me know at 20% with an audible beep on your battery protect that I'm down to 20% of battery life, and then I've still got that little bit more to go. The next we're talking about is your solar regulator. This is a smart solar regulator. So what this means is that it's Bluetooth as well, and the information that is on here will actually go onto your Victron Connect app for you and onto the display screen. So you can see that there's stickers on these, and all the items will have stickers on them, and it's the actual serial number, PIN code and a PUC code. So sometimes you need the PIN number on this to be able to access it with your Victron Connect app. In this case here, I've already done it, which is on there. So the solar regulator is hooked up to your solar panels. So how much ever solar you've got on your roof, it will be going through the solar regulator, and then from the solar regulator, charging your batteries. So your van doesn't run off solar, it runs off the batteries, and the solar charges your batteries. Now between here and the batteries, there is a circuit breaker. It's a circuit breaker like this one here, except yellow. So why don't we show you that now? So here we have those solar circuit breakers. They're the yellow ones here, and we've got for the two solar regulators, and you can see here that now is tripped. So if it's like that, solar from these solar panels going through to that solar regulator is not happening. You need to click that back up. Will that happen? Sometimes from time to time. Just make sure all these connections are done up nice and tight. If they do feel a little bit of heat, they may trip because that's what they're supposed to do. Or if there is too much solar coming through, which is an absolute rarity, this would actually trip. But my first port of call would be, if my solar's not working, check that these and the fuses are all working fine. So let's go into the solar regulator. So I'm going to click on the solar regulator, and you can see here that they're all flashing. That's the one that we're identified, and it's going to find the information for me. So you can see here, this is the amount of volts that are coming through and the amount of amps that we're producing from it. And at the moment, we're currently under a cover, so there's no amps coming through. And this is the information that of the battery that it's hooked up to. The other thing that I like to go into, once you've seen how much watts are coming through, is the history. And this will give you a history of every day how much solar you have produced. So if you're off grid and you get some rainy days, that will drop all the way down, and you can actually help you to plan your trip. The last one we've got in here is the DC to DC charger. It's the one that's the Orion Smart one. You can see on here it says isolated. So what this does, it takes the power from your alternator of your car via the Anderson plug at the back of the car. We plug the caravan into that, and the power from the car comes through to the DC to DC charger. It regulates it and isolates it. So it regulates it to the amount of volts that are required for the batteries that we have, whether it be 14.3, 13.9, whatever, and then it charges your batteries on your caravan. But the beauty of this isolated one is that if we turn the car off and we're still hooked up to the caravan, this will stop the caravan from drawing down on your main car battery. This is also Bluetooth, and it only comes on when it's powered up, and that means it needs to be attached to your car, and then you will be able to see it on the Victron Connect app. So let's do an update on the inverter. So you just touch this one here in the middle. You see menu. Let's just touch the menu. All right, and it comes up with all the equipment that you have on your Victron system. We want to go into settings. Firmware. We need to go into that one in a minute. I just want to keep that one in the back of your mind. Let's go all the way down, because what we actually need to do is create Wi-Fi on this van, on the system, so that you can actually download the updates. So we need to go into Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi networks. Okay, so when you get to this point, you need to actually open your mobile hotspot on your phone. Put your hotspot on, make sure that it's activated. You can see here, my name's Mark Morrow and I'm connected to this already, but as an example, if I touch the next one down, I would need, because it's disconnected, I'd need to go to password and then put in my password, hit that little tick button, and then what would actually happen is it would show that you're connected. Once you're connected, click that little arrow back, and again, till you get back to Wi-Fi, find firmware. We want online updates. Press to check that there is updates, and it will tell me if there is updates available on the van, and then you can see here there is an update. Let's press that to do the update, and now it's downloading and installing the firmware. This might actually take a couple of minutes, so leave your phone with the van to do the update for you. All right, as you see, it's installing it there now. So what that is doing is updating your inverter. So we're now going to look at the updates on the solar regulator, and it is the same process you go through for the shunt or the DC to DC charger. So I'm just going to touch the solar, and you can see here this one's flashing, so we know we're connecting to this one. It's fetching the data. Now, I was talking about this all before, but there was one thing that I noticed on there. That little red exclamation mark over the cog, that's telling me that there is an update to do. You must do these. So you touch it and it says update available. Do the update. This may take a couple of minutes, but it's really important on this case here to do your solar updates, do your shunt updates, do the updates on the DC to DC charger to make sure things are running effectively. So the next one, after you've done that update on the inverter, you need to individually update all your components that you have on the Victron system. So you can do it with your DC to DC charger, but you'll need to have it attached to the car so that the Bluetooth will come on. But more importantly, the smart shunt and your solar regulators. And the reason why is because if we don't do updates on, especially on your shunt, the information that is coming through from that may be disjointed. So we need it running at optimum. You also have your solar, and if you do not do updates on your solar power may not come through properly and it's completely inefficient. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is the shunt. So this here generates all this information that we have with the Victron system to Bluetooth for you, so that you can see this on your phone via the Victron Connect app. It also tells us what the percentage of battery life we have, what current is coming in and out. And then next to it you have the Servo GX. So this Servo GX is the brain, all right, and it takes all that information and it sends it up to the display that we have, that we were looking at before. So why don't we go up to that display and I'll show you some things. So here we have the display screen. On the display screen, we have the battery percentage, and this is coming from the shunt, through the brain, the servo, to here. We're currently discharging because we've got lights on here, and we're not plugged into 240 volt and charging the batteries up, so we're using the inverter. How many watts are being drawn, the voltage, and what amps. All right, so at the moment we're negative 12.9. So what that means is whatever we're producing is not enough to cover what we're consuming. And we're in deficit of 13 amps. We also have a current limit. So in this case here, I'll just kind of take this down a bit. I'm going to take this down to 10. All right, and except what I want to make sure is that the current draw that we have through here is no more than 10 amps because I don't want to trip the circuit breakers. We also have what watts for AC loads through your solar, and if we're generating through our DC system, if there is any, what watts are coming through on that, and then what your water tanks are actually doing here. So your water tank sensors are actually plugged into your servo as well. And if I swipe to the side, you can see here that we have your water levels for your freshwater tanks. Freshwater, yep, so we just got the freshwater tanks on this one. There's also which way the current is traveling through the inverter, AC loads, and so forth. So this might be one that you might be interested in looking at. Personally, there's another one as well. I like this one because it has everything on here for you. All right, and this is the area that I go into mostly. What am I consuming and producing? So if I'm in negative, I'm gonna draw the batteries down by 11 amps per hour based on what I'm using on the batteries currently. So that completes the updates. If you need some further troubleshooting, you can always contact our service department here at Brisbane RVs, Or you do have some other options. On your Victron board, there will be a name of a provider that actually did and installed your Victron system, whether it be C-Pro or Baintech. Find that, Google their phone number and give them a call. They'll be able to help you as well.